And here we have the process of purchasing the next vehicle. It's appeared in Hegarty's, and here it is, the Porsche 917K 70. 18 million credits. Well, this is why we grind. This is what we're here for. This is what we've actually done. We've spent the credits, and here we go. Button pressed. Car on its way to be delivered. Just disappointing that the game doesn't support the sound at this point. However, you have to buy it. It's got to be part of the process. I'm well collector level 50 now with 319,000 points. And yes, we're going to take it to the track, so I'm going to hand you over to my colleague in the studio. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are entertaining an interesting little car. This car is responsible for emptying the credit account. As you can see, it's the 917K 70 from Porsche. This is a right-hand drive model, but we'll be driving it from the centre seat using bumper cam. This car comes with its own history. It's one of the iconic cars in the game. It is 18 million credits in Hegarty's. It is one of those cars that you really truly aspire to get. This is the car from S10 where you get to race it in the wet and complete the final license challenge. It is in itself a tricky little beast to handle, and I think we'll experience that today as we go grinding, and that makes us decide whether it's actually one of the best cars to grind with. Let's take a look at the settings. Performance points. The target for today is 800. It comes in a smidge under at 782.26. It only packs 598 brake horsepower. It's got racing softs, fully customizable suspension, all set default. Fully customizable diff, all default. Downforce, 200 on the front, 200 on the rear. It doesn't seem a massive amount, but this is one of those cars that's got assistance from massive aerodynamics in the body. Fully customizable ECU at 100, no performance adjustments, but a racing transmission at 310. We only have the brake balance added in the centre section, and in the right hand one, increased body rigidity. There's nothing else to change, nothing else to add. That's your lot. Let's go to the track. Let's take a look at the settings. The assist, traction control 1, default ABS, ASM on and counter steering assistant strong. Controller settings, controller steering sensitivity 5, force feedback max torque 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. I haven't got much more to say about this car than what we said at the intro. I'm expecting big things from it. I think its biggest challenge doing a one-stop is going to be making the fuel last, but we'll just have to see where we go with that. Control might be a bit tricky because it's a bit flighty, but all we can do is dive straight in. Fuel map to 6. And let's see where it gets. We're going to try and do 8 laps in the first stint. 7 in the second. See if we can get ahead of some of the AI before the fuel really starts to give us a problem. Just going to be a kind of war of attrition where we just wear down the AI. Make our way, keep up with them, make our way past them. Go with the advantage of the one stop that really does just allow us to just gain time by not being stationary. Fuel is now exactly on the money where it needs to be. Oh, we lost grip under the wake of the GT40 there. We lost complete control of the back end of the car as it lost grip. Must be aware of that when we get into turbulence from a car in front going around a corner. This car tends to get a bit light and flighty, and that's what we warned us about. So fuel is right on the money, but we're not making any inroads on the top of the tree. We're 19 seconds behind. Lifting at the 200. One car each lap will not be enough. I have to see how we can just catch this up a bit. We're good on fuel at this current time, we just need to be aware what we're doing. A 146 is the slowest outlap of any car we've used. Still 21 seconds off the leaders. Just keep him with Mr. Solis and we'll try and slide past him at the grassy knoll. Fuel is not looking great at this point. Oof, Mr. Solis just braked and turned left. We're just going to have to manage that damage now. Lots of smoke from the tyres in front. Mr. Kawakami and Mr. Kukabun giving us the drift. Fuel not looking healthy. We'll just slide past these guys down the start finish. We would have to coast into the pits at this point. So let's just lift. Get into turn 1. Nice and easy. Up to 14th place. Get a little shove from Mr. Hizal there. We are 23 seconds behind the leaders, so we're going slightly backwards. This can all be managed. Mr. Bishop and Mr. Gallo giving a go. See how much the race varies. Mr. Bishop was up in 3rd or 4th place in the last race we were in. Bit of door-to-door stuff with Mr. Gallo. They're not lying down, either of them, are they? Door to door with Mr. Bishop. I'm no longer a Ferrari driver. Fuel is looking a bit scarce. We're going to have to do some coast and rolls. We're up to 11th place, so we're doing okay. We're actually on target here. 25 seconds behind the leaders. We're just going to have to go steady. Fuel is critical at this point, so just got to keep progressing. Just a wee bit behind. This car might be better at a two-stop approach, you know. Oh, we just got slammed by the BMW there. Portillo, Frugger and Bouffoy all go to the pits on lap 4. That's interesting turnout. Looks like they're all three stopping. We'll see them come out of the pits anytime now. So we forced a different approach from the AI. They're changing their race up to match our strategy, so they know they're up against it. We're in 5th place now. But we're just managing that fuel. We just got to go that little bit softer on the fuel all the time, just a little bit. Only 7 seconds behind Mr. Grady. Just had that little tweak again as we came through there. Just trying to get that fuel back. Fastest lap of the race is with Mr. Fraga. As we get that little bit lighter, we'll be able to control the car more. It'll have more pace. They're all going into the pit, so that'll be us going to 1st place. One estimates. Yes, we're through, and fuel is absolutely bang on target. We can't control the approach anymore. We've just got to maintain what we're doing. Yamanaka follows us through. Portilla is now in the 3rd seat. And we expect him to catch us up and potentially try and come past us. We're just about managing this to the end of lap 8. That's what we've got to try and do. I know it's all about holding things back, but it's just controlling the race and keeping things interesting. It's alright going out and blasting the cars to the finish every time, but that's just going to get boring for me. Throwing in a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of competition, really is what it's all about. Just keeping the interest in the game. A 2-stop would be too easy for this car. But as with every one of my videos, it's entirely up to you how you do it. I'm just showing you the capabilities of the car, trying to give you an overview of what it does. All setups are very basic, very minimal, nothing overcomplicated. Just to try and show you and prove that the game can be played by anybody. All you need to do is add the parts and be able to drive it. If you've invested in the game and bought a steering wheel and a rig, you're doing well for yourself and you've got every chance. If you don't have the ready cash to get yourself a steering wheel and you're doing it on controller, this should be well within your capabilities. Just enjoy the game, folks. That's what it's about. There is no need to give your hard-earned readies to PD for credits. You can get them yourself. You can drive every car in the game in whatever part of the game you want, and you can enjoy it. Just sort of managing the fuel now. Fuel's just shy of where we need it to be, but we don't have another gear, so we're going to have to coast and roll it. Mr. Portilla and Mr. Fraga are now chasing us down. We're on lap 7. He's now behind us. We're just managing our fuel. We're a second ahead. We're actually putting in our fastest laps of the race. Oh, we've just hit the post. Absolutely shocking. Let's see if we can recover that. We should be up there. But we did a full 360 clattering off the post, which is just not good for us. The car got on the grass, just the right hand wheels, and spun us round. These guys have all got to stop one more time. We've got to get this thing to the end. That was tragic. That's not what we wanted. But let's see if we can recover it. We've come so far. I don't know if it's going to be possible. That's the toss of the coin, isn't it? That's the roll of the dice. It's head to tails, heads or tails, or is it actually snake eyes, lucky sevens? Now the car won't stop. It's extremely light. We're 3 seconds behind Mr. Portilla. Car's just got that horrible little wobble under braking. 8 seconds behind Mr. Portilla. We're aiming for the pit lane. Mr. Fraga continues on, taking the softs and all the fuel. I need the drink. I need to refresh. Tonight's drink of choice isn't coolant, it's ginger beer. Oh, look at that broken headlight on the left-hand front. We did that. That was all us hitting the fence. Looks like we're going to drop down the pack a bit. There's a fleet of drivers in behind us, and away we go. So we've got 7 laps with 8 laps of fuel. Let's see if we can catch this up a wee bit. Start to put some decent laps in. Car will be a little bit tricky when it's full of fuel, so just be aware. It'll be as tricky as it is when it's light. The back end will want to skip a little bit. Don't want to go wasting all that fuel in the first stint. We need to just be pushing on. Fraga is the one to catch. He's 36 seconds ahead. I don't know whether he's going to stop one more time. We're just going to continue with the lift at 200, brake at 150. Fraga's gone in, 8% of fuel, so he's going to come out ahead of us, because I don't think we're close enough. He was just ahead of us, wasn't he? So just have to see where we come in. Portilla was in ahead of us. He's taking fuel now, is Fraga. Fraga's fallen away. And there he goes, leaving the pits. So it's all on us to catch him now. The race is on. The race is fully on. Mr. Bishop, Mr. Lopez. So Fraga a 1:38.786 fastest lap. We've got to get our full driving head on now. Mr. Lopez gave us the advantage there around that corner. Is he just going to give our back end a tap? He's going to come back down the inside. We're going to get him on the acceleration. Our fastest lap, a 1:42.768. Car didn't want to stop. Had to use the gears. It's got such good aero, this car. Off the power it will go round the corners. Grady comes in, so that's Portilla and Fraga to chase down then. We're going to be in third place. 5 complete laps to go. Fuel is pretty much there. That's our fastest lap of the race, a 1:49.70, which isn't immensely quick out of all the cars we've used. In fact, it's not quick. It's not quick at all. We're only 8 seconds off the lead. We're expecting both of these cars to make one more pit. Both cars in front of us. Mr. Fraga is actually there in front of us. And we are decidedly slower than in any other race because we haven't caught a lapped car yet. We haven't seen a lapped car just as yet. Very deliberate change down, you can hear it in the gearbox. Click clunk as we go up the gears. The car slides into that corner, that's the ASM responsible for that little slide. There's Portilla and Fraga. We can see him in the distance, that was our fastest lap at 1:47.75. That's not Portilla and Fraga, that's Mr. Oh, the Porsche driver. I can't ever remember his name. It does me in. You'll hear me most races just pause when it comes to his name. It's Inestrosa. I need to get that implanted, tattooed on the back of my brain for when I see the Porsche. This is one of the potential cars for you to drive, my friend. I know you probably won't want to because it's not the best car at this event on a one-stop. It might be two-stop where it actually comes to the fore. Now we just have to make sure we've got enough fuel to get us to the end. Minestrosa moves out of the way. Minestrosa. Mr. Inestrosa. I'm expecting Portilla to go to the pits this lap. I think he's gone to the pit. He has. Where's Fraga going? Is he going on one more? I'm anticipating Fraga's got to pit yet. I don't think he'll make 7 laps on his fuel. I don't think he can. Our fuel is just in that window. So the race is on between us and Fraga. There he is, and he's pushing on. He's not putting in fastest lap quality, but he's just keeping ahead of us. He's measuring his pace. I can only imagine that he knows he's got to pit, and he's trying. It's just we're keeping him honest. I'm not so sure that we are, but he is absolutely pulling away from us. 4.81. We've just got to try and brake a little bit later into this corner. Over 5 seconds. He is pushing. He's trying to make time, but if we can keep him close, Portilla's 15 seconds back. Down to 4 seconds as we come through the grassy knoll extremely quickly compared to Fraga. Is he going to the pits, or are we kippered because we're not going to be able to chase him? He's gone on again. It looks like he's going to make it right to the end. Looks like we've got to push on and we're going to run out of fuel if we have to keep up this performance. Looks like that spin was absolutely critical. We've never known Fraga do an extended third stint. We can only imagine that he's got to still pit. It's the only advantage we've got, and we're short of fuel, so we haven't got an option here. We've got to just hang it out. We've got 15 seconds over Portilla. We can't push. We don't have the juice to push, and we can't pit. We haven't got the option to pit. All we've got is the fact that Fraga needs to pit. We've let him have a second and a half. We can't do anything else. We've got to hold on to that hope. We can see him. We gained on him through there. Can't use first gear, that'll eat too much fuel. We've just got to hope. He's going to the pits. I can feel it in my water. He's gone to the pits. There he is, he's in. We've got 1 lap of fuel. We've got to make that 1 lap of fuel last. We're 16 seconds ahead of Portilla. We've got to coast and roll from the 200. It cost us 18 million. It's got to pay back at least 0.7. Fraga's out the pits and he's away before Portilla. So he's 13 seconds behind us. He's going to be charging. But we've just got to make sure we get there. We've got 10% of fuel left. We've got the time. We don't have the fastest lap, but we do have the opportunity. So, as a car, it's phenomenal. It's great to drive. It really is quite easy. You've just got to watch the odd little thing it does. Fuel is quite tight. There's the half. We're good. We just need to coast and roll just a wee bit. Be aware of the high speed high jinks it gives you. It'll just wobble round corners occasionally. Don't lift off mid fast corner. You'll get this lift off oversteer, which isn't good. We're not going to put the fastest lap in here. We are coasting for fuel. 12 seconds out of Mr. Fraga. It can be driven quite smoothly and quite quickly, but fastest lap time of a 1:47.73 does not make it a rocket ship round here. We're going to coast. Then we're going to go for the finish line. 12 seconds ahead. We're not going to run out of fuel. Go through the line to take the win. And that was a big exhale because I did not have faith. I didn't have faith in what those other drivers were doing, and that headlight broken there is there to haunt me. So what do we do? A 26.16, so it is the slowest car around the track that we've used. Even with that incident, it would have been around about a 2:05, 2:06. We didn't lap anybody. Yes, we did. We lapped in Ostroza, I forget. Porsche for Porsche. Fastest lap of the race went to Mr. Fraga at 1:38.786. Well, if anything, folks, that should have been an entertaining race. It delivered the bank balance. Now we just have to find the Ferrari invite to get the FX export. 205.9 miles for the day, and there she is. Well, it's up to you with what you want to do. It's a lot of credits, but you've got to buy that car to complete the game. So if you've got the money, I'd get it. It's in Hegarty's now, as of the date that I published this video. But that's up to you, folks. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.